Hello everyone, my name is Beckett and welcome back to the channel. And today in Division 2, it is TU12, and not only that, we have some vendor resets and we have a lot of good gear and weapons to go through. As usual, I went ahead and just skipped New York. It was not a complete bust. There was one item. If you are looking for a Wyvern holster, it has max skill damage and just reroll to whatever stat you are looking for. Not a bad pickup, but we are off to Washington, D.C. But before we get started, if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe, and if you like the video, smash that like button. Alright, it is already looking good. We have a Pyromaniac. This is the named Police M4, and it comes with the talent Perfectly Ignited, dealing 25% weapon damage to burning enemies, and after 3 kills, apply a burning enemy to the next enemy you hit. We really don't care about that next enemy hit, but the stats are really good. We have 15% assault rifle damage. We can always re-roll that critical hit damage to something like damage to armor, damage to target out of cover, whatever you prefer. 15% health damage, that is okay, but if you wanted to, you could optimize this. Now, what would I be using this for? I would honestly probably be using this in Eclipse Protocol or pretty much any other burn build, but Eclipse Protocol, it does work nice and it feels really good. Now, other than that, we have this ump and it has damage to armor. If you are still looking for that for your recal library, I would go ahead and pick that up. Other than that, we don't really have anything else up here, so let's head over to the clan vendor. Alright, first thing we have is the Chainkiller, and right off the bat, this is not a bad roll. This is the named Walker and Harris chest piece, and it comes with Perfect Headhunter. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped, but if you have, like if you're stacking headshot damage, you can get it up to 1250% damage, which is kind of crazy, and this is not really a bad roll. It's actually a really good roll. It's mid-tier, but we can always re-roll one of these to a higher stat, headshot damage, whatever it was, and take the rest of the optimization station if you are looking for that Chainkiller build. Next, we have Ongoing Directive. Came with mid-tier weapon damage and repair skills. We also have the Aces and Eights, came with almost 12% weapon damage and 7% weapon handling. Not a bad roll. Next, the Hardwire, the go-to skill build. Well, maybe we'll test out Rigor and find that out in due time, but it came with 8.9% status effects. Next, we don't really have too much. I mean, we have some decent rolls. That's not bad. I would just pass on it. I'm not a big SOCOM fan, but we do have these Y'all knee pads. We don't see this Y'all gear too much in the regular vendors. We see it in the DZ vendors quite a bit. Came with 12% critical hit damage, so if you need that for your recal library, pick that up. But if you are trying to build that Hasbro, that chicken dance build with that backfire, which is still viable, you can take that out and do just fine. I would just re-roll that status effects to armor regen, critical hit chance, something to make you a little more tanky. Alright, we are at the campus settlement and we have the new named marksman rifle, the Scalpel. Now, it just came with mid-tier rolls, and I would pass on this, and I would probably pass on if it was God roll. I just don't really like Future Perfection on this. I don't think skill builds and marksman rifles mix. Maybe they do, and maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments, but all in all, I would just pass. Now, we do have this SOCOM, and it has 10% critical hit damage, so if you are looking for that for your recal library still, we can go ahead and get that. Other than that, we don't really have anything else special. Alright, here we are at Theater, and we have the Artist's Tool. This is a rifle, and it comes with Perfect Rifleman. Landing headshot adds a stack of 11% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Max stack is 6. I just don't like this weapon. It kind of... It feels like a wet noodle. Just ask my wife. She'll know what you're talking about. And next we have the shotgun damage. And just pick that up if you need it for your recal. Other than that, there wasn't really anything at the settlement this week. Alright, we are at DZ West and we have the White Death. I believe this is the M44 carbine named item, and it comes with that miraculous headshot damage, 137%. I would pick this up if it had better rolls, but it's just mid-tier rolls, bad talent all around. Just go ahead and pass on that. But if you ever find a nice one, put it in your stash, use it for a rainy day. Now we do have the Negotiator's Dilemma mask, and it came with 12.4 weapon damage. Not bad, and we can just reroll that explosive resistance to critical hit or critical hit damage. We have aces and eights. Now this is actually a really good roll because it has 9.7% headshot damage. Even though that weapon damage is low, just re-roll that and you got near god roll on that. Now other than that, we do have this Petrov holster. If you are trying to build that weapon damage LMG build, this is not a bad roll. Near max rolls, I would keep the weapon handling and I would re-roll the critical hit chance to max or to something else. Maybe you want some survivability. It just depends how you are playing your build. Alright, over at DZ South, we have the swap chain. I believe this is the MP7 named item, and it comes with perfect unwavering. Swapping to this weapon grants plus 400% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Nearly an instant reload. If you swap away, you lose that, but kills will refresh it. So this is just like a pure run and gun build. If you can ever get a nice roll on this, this gun is amazing with the Hunter's Fury set, and do not ever sleep on that swap chain. Other than that, that's all we have for weapons, but we do have this Negotiator's Dilemma backpack, and it comes with 11.7% weapon damage, and we can just re-roll that health to crit, of course. And it comes with the talent increase hostile negotiation damage to additional marked enemies from 60% to 100%. This is usually needed for the build just because it adds so much damage, and it is one of my favorite builds, and in my opinion, and I probably say this every week, it is one of the best builds or gear sets in the game. We have the Striker Harness, just a mid-tier roll. I would just pass on it. You can find a better roll somewhere else. All right, we have the Harmony. Now, would it be any other day, or if TU12 had just not come out, I would say go to DZ and farm this out right away. But now I'm gonna say don't do that. I mean, if you want a Harmony just in your stash, if you're a collector, go ahead and grind it out. But honestly, if you have the season pass, just go ahead and head into the summit, finish your 5 challenges or milestones, whatever it is, and you are going to get the capacitor. And what it comes with is like a souped up in sync. You get crazy weapon damage and crazy skill damage, and I think it is going to edge out the Harmony and is probably going to make the Harmony mostly irrelevant. Next, we have the Hunter's Claws. This is the Hunter's Fury Gloves. 10% weapon damage, 8% headshot damage, mid-tier roll. We can usually find better out in the world. And Negotiator's Dilemma, 10% weapon damage, another mid-tier roll. We can always get it somewhere else. And alright, that's all we have for the vendors. Today, we have Cassie resetting her goods. Tomorrow we'll check that out. Now if you're looking for builds, tutorials, news from anything from old players to new and everything in between, go ahead and check out my channel. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.